Hey y'all, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. As I said, my name is Emily, and on this channel we talk about disability as well as mental illness and try to break those stereotypes to bridge the gap between the disabled and the able-bodied world and cultures, if you will, as we all partake in this same, we all live in the same world. My goal is for you all to find a safe space, find someone who you can relate to, and learn from each other on this channel. So thank you for joining me once again. Today we are going to talk about accessibility. Oh, also, please note we are still in my daughter's room. She has really good lighting with this window behind y'all right now. So, and it may get brighter and darker. There are clouds out today, so forgive them. But yeah, today we're going to talk about accessibility and how important it is. Oh my goodness. So here's the thing. If our world was fully accessible to everyone, you probably would hardly even notice the differences between someone who's disabled and someone who's not, because accessibility features is what allows access to the same things that, we all may want to enjoy or do enjoy, but can't because of our disability or our challenge that we have. So accessibility is so important, and I can go on about this forever. I'm going to try to keep myself on track with the points I want to talk about today. And if you all have questions about certain things, then please ask them in the comments, and I can go more in depth on that. But today I wanted to share some of the accessibility features and tools that I personally use. Do keep in mind I am legally blind, as I mentioned, and blindness is a spectrum, okay? Not every blind person is going to have the same visual acuity. And not every person who is legally blind, which is defined by the state, not everyone who's legally blind will want to be said, hey, they're blind, okay? Each individual is going to be unique. But I am here to share the features that I use, and I'll do another video solely on what I like to be referred as that is a personal preference. But going back to the features that I use, I did want to go back and actually share the definition of legal blindness, as I didn't quote it word for word in my last video, as I should have. So first of all, I'm using an iPad. I personally use Apple products. I love them because they have built-in accessibility features. I did graduate from college, and before I went to college, I was sent to, I should look up the name of this place, but basically one of the state organizations, if you will. It used to be called Division for Blind Services, and now it's Texas Workforce Solutions. Basically, they sent me to a place that had all these accessibility tools. They had video magnifiers, they had JAWS, which is, built in on Microsoft, additional software and components that you attach to PCs or Windows computers that allows you to see things in the classroom. But what I did was I actually decided to get a MacBook before I went to college, because they had a lot of these accessibility features built in that I wanted to use. So, as well as an iPad. I actually got an iPad in high school because it allowed me to take notes on it, as well as I could put the PowerPoints up on the computer or the iPad on the screen right in front of me, because I could not see the board. And that's one of the big things that I struggled with, and I don't know if other people out there with disabilities or legally blind people experience the same issue, was that the classroom was the most limiting environment as far as accessibility. And I think I will do a separate video all about that, but basically, I mean, you walk in, you have to read the itinerary on the board, maybe they'll want you to do the warm-up from the board, and then there's a PowerPoint, and I just couldn't read it, right? So what I would do, even in high school, was they would email me the PowerPoint, I would pull it up on my computer, and then I would take notes either on my computer from that, or I would handwrite them on a notebook from the PowerPoint right in front of me. So that's one thing I used, and so that's just one example in the classroom. But like in my personal life, you know, I'm 25-year-old female. I love social media. I love shopping online, blogging, everything like that, right? So how do I use that? So in Safari, I want to search something. It's gonna be a bit of a glare. And I'm gonna take these 2 fingers. I can zoom in like crazy amounts. So let me actually go back here and read something from here for you. That's the definition of what it means to be legally blind. Again, going back to that, it's in Texas, legal blindness is defined as having a visual acuity of 2200 or worse in your better eye. Okay, so as I did explain, my right eye is 2200, my left is 2400, and that's with corrective lenses. So anyway, yeah, so basically I just zoom in and I read it, but not every web page is accessible for you to zoom in, and that drives me crazy. So I can zoom in on this one. I wish I could pull up a website that is not, but I can't tell you how many times I'm trying to read like an article, because I do love, I'm old, I watch the news, or I'm a crime junkie, right? So I will pull up an article about this crime that happened in my area, and I can't zoom in. So what do? This is what I do. So this zoom is built into the operating system, meaning I don't have to turn on any special features to be able to zoom in like that. But again, not every website is programmed that way. And that's something that's programmable. They have to do it on their programming side, whatever. I'm not that techie. But either way, if there's a site that you cannot zoom in at, like let me try to go to I don't know, TMZ. I was gonna bring up a news site, but I didn't want to bring up anything controversial. Okay, so this one actually you can zoom in at. This is just TMZ. You can zoom in, but if there's one that you cannot zoom in on, I wish I had an example, but I don't. But if you could not, there is a zoom feature built in where, and this is one you do have to enable. You just triple or double tap with 3 fingers, and it brings up a little, I don't know if you can even see that. Do you see that little box in there? I move the box around and it's like a magnifier. So instead of taking a physical magnifier on the iPad like you used to do back in the day, no shade, but back in the day, you know, you would put like, they had these like paper-like magnifiers, and you just lay them flat and you move it around. It's like that, but it's built in. But let's say it's not zoomed in enough. Then I triple tap with 3 fingers, 1, 2, 3, and it brings up this line. This is the zoom strength. So like 2 times, 3 times, etc. to be able to read that. So as you can see, I can zoom out. I can choose the region to zoom in. I can raise lens, resize. Wow, I can't read like this. Choose a filter and show controller. So if you show the controller, it's gonna put this little, do you see this thing on the side? You can move that around and use that. Sort of like the assistive touch. Like, I don't know if your home button has ever stopped working, so you would go into accessibility features. There was this gray dot you can put on the screen as your home button. It's used for people who may have those motor skills issue or just can't touch the screen. They'll use an assistive technology to touch that with something they use. I won't get into that because that's not my expertise, but I know it's there. So anyway, that's what I use. Now, or that's some of the things that I use. But that's for like browsing the internet, what I do in my spare time. So Another thing is how, like, what other technology might I use if I'm trying to go out, go shopping, go to a restaurant? What do I do, right? So that's one of my anxious triggers, if you will, is going somewhere new, because okay, we all may be a bit of a control freak in our life, but I feel like I try to control my life so much because in a way I am dependent on others, right? I can't drive. Sometimes I need help, but I hate that more than anything. Like, you know, you have to swallow your pride and know you have to ask for help, and that's okay, and I do. But if I can control as much of my life as possible, it makes it easier for me. You know, my anxiety likes that more because I know what to expect. So going into a new place can be stressful as someone with a visual impairment or any other disability. If you have one, you can probably understand that. Or not, you just might not like new places. Totally fine. So restaurants are one thing that stresses me out. There are a lot of restaurants that you go inside and you order at the counter and they have their menu like up high, like up there, you know, and you're supposed to read it. Sometimes they'll have an accessible menu that you can ask for, whether it's Braille, a picture menu, maybe for someone who can't read, or something like that. Someone who's deaf who could point it out because they can't speak, or who knows, whatever the reason. Sometimes restaurants will have a printout copy that you can like hold and read like that. But A, sometimes I forget to ask. B, if I don't have to ask for help, I won't. So what do? I will take out my phone. I will take a picture of the menu and zoom in. Simple. Boom, boom, this is what I want. But I hate that, because I can't tell you how many times someone has given me a funny look when I'm like sitting on my phone like, yep, I want a burger, no cheese. And like, I think they think I'm texting or something, and I don't want to be rude. I do not want to be that person. But when I say I rely on my phone, I truly do. And I've grown to be okay with that because it's like my lifeline. Like, I can't drive, right? So I will request an Uber to get where I want to go. I will pull out the magnifier if I can't see something. Like, it's literally my tool. And I know that Androids have some good accessibility features as well. They have the same zoom feature where you just like squeeze it and you zoom in. And the camera's on any phone, right? So you can easily do that. Trying to think. I know on iPhones, they also do have a magnifier function that you can turn on. And on the phones that have a home button, if you turn that magnifier on, you triple click the home button and it brings up a magnifier. And it has the same scrolly bar where you can turn it all the way to the right and it zooms in a lot. So there is that. I don't know how to do it on the iPhones without the home button. I will figure that out. But I just use my camera for everything. Even when I was in class, I would just have that open communication with the teachers, like, hey, I'm taking a picture of the board. I promise I'm not on Facebook. And they'd just be like, yeah, you're fine, you know? So those are some things that I use. I do have a video magnifier. I will possibly pull it out in another video. It is in a closet in another room, up in a box very high, and I am not that tall. So I will pull it out for another video, but those are some of the tools that I personally use. And like I said, every single person with a visual impairment is going to use tools differently, but that's how I get around. Really, I live off of my phone. And I'm okay with being dependent on it. I think that's all I can think of right now. If y'all have any questions on any tools, or you need help with something, you have a question, leave a comment below. But I think that's it for now. I do want to thank y'all for coming along, being a part of this channel and this beautiful community, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.